good life belief, all is at peace until the geckos attacked. And it seems that the whole world has it out for this man. Sal's about to be eaten, but thankfully, he runs away. Why would you subject me to this, Michael? Okay, I think I'm done here. Or should I say, I think. Okay, so the next movie is Spider's Life, A Pig's Tale. This one was released 8 years later, 2006. And wait, what? You haven't seen Fang? Oh, I guess I have to go back and do that. After that enthralling chase sequence, we get to meet our main character, Fang, and the other two I don't care about. The audio mixing is absolute garbage. Sal is a Shire character, so he talks in a quiet, whimpering tone. But because the sound wasn't mixed well at all, the background music completely overpowers it. Speaking of the music, this film just reuses the same 3 songs over and over again, which is really grating. One of the ants then low-key goes on a racist tirade.
I am so sick of these non-native species just waltzing in.
This could mean one of 28 different things. The ants then leave Sal behind and absolutely throw it back. We then cut to a literal helicopter. This is Queen Jo. She shows up and the character is, well, this. Then we get some dialogue between the ants.
I'm Josephine.
Well, that was awkward. While the ants are busy doing that, Sal's getting chased by the geckos. But thankfully, he closes his eyes for 1 second and immediately stops them. Stop. What? He's dead. He was moving 1 second ago! The ants are underground now. Cut back to Sal, and he is not happy. He meets a mantis, and that makes him fall in love or something, and now he's in a cocoon. This whole time, the ants are making an anthill, but then Fang witnesses an evil speech.
Wrong species. Destroying them.
Finally, 15 minutes into this 25-minute movie, we have our villain. He gets the others, and they engage in the ultimate battle. Sal, who's now a moth, lures geckos to murder her and her entire family, and they all die. The end. While I skipped over a lot of it, so much of this movie is made up of these silent moments of the ants just walking. And while the animations look funny, don't get me wrong, when the film has to have constant filler just to hit the 25-minute mark, it shows a serious lack of skill or effort in the writing department. The animation was low quality, but it really added to the dreamlike atmosphere. Something that's truly unforgivable, though, is the sound design, which makes the whole thing borderline unwatchable. Overall, this movie is a much worse version of an actual ant's life. Short and painfully simple. I'd honestly rather watch a documentary on actual ants, as it would probably be more interesting. In real life, ants colonize and can carry stuff. Here, in this fictionalized world where they can literally do anything, they're just kind of bored. And the fact this is the shortest of the 4 doesn't bode well for what's to come. Hey. Spider's Web, A Pig's Tale is an animated dumpster fire made in 2006, the same year as a movie adaptation of Charlotte's Web, so it only makes sense for Michael Shelp to show up and make some money. This one's almost twice as long as the last, but that doesn't stop it from having a 1.3 star rating. So first off, it seems the animation has gotten better since last time. You know what? Never mind. Then we get introduced to all the lovely animal characters. One of them is a talking yellow spider, which looks remarkably similar to the talking yellow spider in the last one. So these films can technically be in the same universe. Some French bee guy isn't pollinated, and the pig is telling him to lie about it. But lying bad. That's about as deep as the messaging goes, setting up really surface-level lessons for the characters to solve. Now we have even more species racism, this time against wasps.
The wasps left the day. Whoa, buddy.
Weird that this is becoming a constant in these films. The pig, named Walter, seems to be a pathological liar. Okay, but the song kinda slaps.
Beneath falling leaves, the pond was vulnerable to pie-loving thieves.
I also think it's important to note that the pig in Charlotte's Web is named Roller, by the way. So,
False.
So then horses show up and do exposition. Then the spider shows up and does more exposition. The last, 3 scenes have just been exposition. When will something actually happen?
Life's not easy for anyone.
What the fuck is that? Why is it on the phone? So the spiders and snakes start arguing about whether or not lying is cool. It's not a very productive conversation. Walter then breaks a pot and continues just straight up lying.
Thick fog will enveloping the forest. Huntings would begin. Emerging on earth, a ghostly phantom spirit rose up from his throne. The eerie form stopped. Tiffany jumped and scared round the pot.
Then his mom very unnaturally begins asking him if he did his homework. First of all, why does this literal farm animal have homework? Does it have school? I have so many questions. And secondly, guys, do you think Walter is going to lie about this?
Yes.
Then the pig and the snake drive a car.
Dinner time.
Oh, okay, what the actual... So there are aliens here now? So was Walter not lying about the pie? Aliens are a thing that canonically exist in this universe.
Kids today, they have no manners. Play video games.
What? This movie just seems like a bunch of smaller episodes that are usually connected by a road trip plot. Scenes blend in so much, you get deja vu when I'm viewing. They go to a hotel and try to get a free room, but they mess it up and have to leave. They go to a gas station to steal gas, and it doesn't work and they leave. Then they make it to their destination where they start auditioning for theater and TV, which follows its own rigid formula of the snake lying about Walter's resume, and Walter not being able to live up to the hype. Then as they leave, the snake talks shit about the things they're trying to get into. Here's a little writing tip. If the average viewer can predict what's about to happen to the word, then your writing probably sucks. So after failing to make it in Hollywood 3 separate times, the snake just decides to kill Walter! He brings them to a butcher shop under the false pretenses of Walter entering the rap scene. So they have him sing his little rap song while dangling above a meat grinder.
Wherever I go, wherever I do, there's one thing I know. I'll see truth. But my
this is the point where every child watching this represses every memory of this movie because, man, this is pretty dark. The spiders and the bees that are also in this movie show up, and the bee stings the sleazy snake. This somehow makes him lose all sense of touch in his body, so he'll never know when he gets a phone call again, because it's not like phones have a tone when they call you or anything, like a ringtone. Also, the racist bee is actually a self-hating wasp, and Walter is done with lying. All it took was a betrayal and attempted murder from his close friend. The film may be called Spider's Web A Pig's Tale, but it should probably be called Walter's Web of Lie that will eat him up like the homework in that one scene. Looking at the comments section of a re-upload of the film, YouTube user Another Track Bomb adamantly believes this film was created or produced by Video Brinquedo, a Brazilian company that does make rip-off films, but not this one. If I ever make a follow-up to this video, I'll talk about these guys. Seriously though, this YouTube user has been in this comment section for a full year. She has over 100 comments on this channel, with comments as recent as yesterday. Is there really that much thrill in spreading misinformation on the internet? Either way, it's probably best to move on to our next film. A Car's Life, Sparky's Big Adventure, was also made in 2006, the same year as A Pig's Tale. You can tell because some of these sets are straight up reused between the two movies, which makes sense, since they were probably in production at the same time. A Car's Life is one of the more well-known films by Sparkplug, and was obviously written, directed, and animated by none other than Michael Shell. So therefore, it has a 1.2 star rating. So Sparky and his dad, who are very clear stand-ins for Lightning McQueen and Doc Hudson, are driving to an undisclosed location when Sparky floats away. Another thing that's annoying to me is the fact that these movies use the exact same short list of reused actors. So Walter, Rose, and Sparky are all voiced by Corey Moore. Most people watching probably didn't notice because you weren't suffering through these movies yourself.
I wish I could be.
Sparky, stop. Not a musical.
No, it's a goulash.
So cars continue doing what cars do and keep driving around. Apparently, speeding is a crime in this universe, so a police car starts chasing them. This is just the car equivalent of your teacher telling you not to run in the halls. So our main characters go to the gravestone of Sparky's cousin Piston, who mysteriously went
Still the best joke in that film.
Go to the family business, a gas station. After being introduced to the most annoying sounding character ever, he refuses to take a bath. Now get it.
Child abuse.
Sparky!
Okay. Stop pushing me. The water's too cold.
Then Diesel, Piston's former girlfriend, shows up, who smokes cigarettes?
You've got to live dangerously or die trying.
Man, I sure do wonder what happened to Piston. Then yet another new character enters the scene. Tells the cast that a group of little guys stole her gas, called Gas Leeches, the annoying one, then offers to clean her windshield, accidentally uses motor oil instead of wiper fluid, and all of a sudden she starts spinning around blind. Her eyes are down there. After that, Diesel flirts with Sparky and starts manipulating him into changing himself. First he gets decals and accessories, which in this world are more like tattoos and piercings. Then she gets him to go to a movie when he's supposed to be grounded for the aforementioned decals and accessories. Then the gas leeches show up. Sparky wakes up, but by the time he realizes it's too late, he's stranded in the desert. He then gets towed back to the station. Diesel gaslights Sparky into wanting to go to the Badlands, some place where he isn't allowed to go, and he goes with the annoying one. The two of them meet up with Diesel, who's ready to begin her evil plan. Because, yeah, she was evil the whole time. That's trapped now. She uses wheel locks to restrain them. Then, she brings in the gas leeches, which are her. The good thing here is that the annoying pink car dies a painful death. Sparky is also about to be destroyed, but luckily, a police car arrives and shoots a fucking rocket at her. Speedy. Diesel gets arrested for her heinous crimes, and everyone goes home. Despite being almost twice as long as Dan's life, this one felt both longer and shorter. Like the other two, there are these pretty long moments with no dialogue. Characters just driving. But here, while not as much actually happens, I feel like there's still more going on. Of the 3 Shell movies in this collection, this one was probably the best, but that isn't saying much. All of these movies roughly follow the same plot. Well-meaning child character is taken advantage of by some cartoonish evil villain, and the villain ultimately attempts to kill the child, but fails at the last second, with our hero learning their lesson at the very end. With that, we're actually done with the Shell movies, but there's still one more movie in the family 4-pack. That would be
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Okay, just to interject a little late here, I've made a very, very dear mistake. So the way I've been making this video is by watching YouTube re-uploads, because I just don't want to plug in my DVD player. And The Ugly Duckling and Me isn't on the collection, it's actually The Ugly Duckling and Me Yard Party, a completely different, lower quality film, considering how on the disc it says The Ugly Duckling and Me, and the part of the title that says Yard Party is completely separate from the rest of it. I'm not gonna review it, so just enjoy it anyways. This film is the black sheep of the collection, Michael Shelp seems to have had no involvement in making this. Also, completely coincidentally, it has a 5.4 out of 10, leagues above the ratings of Shelp's films. My best guess for its inclusion in the collection is that Kaboom, Phase 4 Films, or Entertainment One had the rights to it. According to its Wikipedia page, it actually premiered at a Toronto Film Festival before widespread publishing, the same location as Entertainment One. For a short while, I was debating whether or not to even talk about it. It isn't as much of a rip-off and more of an adaptation, not stealing from anything recent, but its inclusion in this collection was enough for it to be worth talking about, even if it doesn't completely match the title of the video. This one's also by far the longest of the four, clocking in at a full hour and 18 minutes. You know, the length of an actual film. The first thing I realized is that the animation is a lot more expressive. It still looks a little dated though. So the film starts with this ratty-looking ass rat trying to swindle other rats by showing off the world's funniest worm, which immediately goes bad, but there's no time for him to be sad about it, since he then gets chased by a woman rat and two bigger rats. He escapes using a tie as a parachute, which doesn't make the most sense. Our main character here is Ratso, and this villain here is Phyllis. Oh yeah, I forgot to And looking at the credits, it's nice to see that Michael Shelp is nowhere in sight. To compare, The Ugly Duckling Indeed was made in the same year as Spider's Web, A Pig's Tale, and A Car's Life. The only difference is that this one could actually be classified as entertainment. There is another Michael attached though, Michael Hegner. He's not too important. Just the writer and creator of Let's Ninjago! Something I've learned to really appreciate here is the use of a moving camera, which is much more immersive than the boring static long shots of the other film. Here, the camera actually moves around. Ratso sees a Ferris wheel in the distance, and, having dreams of working at the carnival, jumps off the train. He lands in a bird's nest, and, in a shocking twist of fate, an egg knocks him into an unknown location known as the Duck Yard. Out of the egg pops the title character himself, the Ugly Duckling. And he looks just like that one bird from Rio, truly a devious little guy. The birds that live there decide not to kill him, and they let him stay there to raise his weird little bird thing, who's ugly. So Ratso names him Ugly. With the pieces in place, I'm sure you can imagine where this goes. Ratso is trying to get out, all the while having to raise the duckling. His cover-up for the giant mountain of dirt is that he'll be performing a show that makes enough noise to be heard by the villainous rat from earlier. For a while, I thought I could guess what would happen next. He would spend the rest of the movie adapting to life at the duck yard, and ultimately learn to love his son. That's what it probably would be if it was like the others, to save on the time and budget needed for making different sets. Instead, the movie is about their journey to the carnival. Now mind you, Ratso is only taking Ugly to use as a circus attraction to be made fun of, but so they walk through a snowy area and avoid getting eaten by a fox, because the duck is ugly. The duck becomes a hormonal teenager overnight. They make it to the circus, and after a brief altercation with Phyllis, they're saved by Ratso's cousin Ernie, who is a cat. But now Ratso's feeling guilty about using his own son. Throughout the course of the movie to this point, Ratso's grown attached to the duck. But this whole time, it's been for the show. Now, he feels genuinely guilty. He'll soon be living his dreams of entertaining a whole crowd with the same bird model, but whether it's worth it is yet to be answered. Then, at the worst moment for our heroes, with a generic hero split up after argument scene and everything, Phyllis comes in and kidnaps Ugly, setting up the climax. In a neat subversion, the rescue doesn't work, and everyone is captured. Ratso is taken down a lineup of rats, and he's getting married in another genuinely funny subversion. I never thought I'd be saying that in this video. The big villain of this film is Ratso's ex-fiancée, who he ran away from since he didn't want to marry her. To save the day, Ugly comes in all grown up, revealing to be a swan. And I know I've been saying it a lot in this section, but man am I happy this isn't another Sparkplug movie. The film isn't great by any means, but the themes are actually suitable for kids, the animation isn't nightmare fuel, things happen in the movie, and despite being twice as long as A Car's Life, I didn't want to commit unspeakable acts of violence against myself and those around me when I was watching it, so that's always nice. So in conclusion, these movies are incredibly weird. I think that's the main takeaway from this video. Well, bat, and don't show these to your kids, or they'll be scarred for life. Strangely enough, it seems Michael Shelb has completely erased everything related to Sparkplug Entertainment from his resume. I wonder why. Maybe it's a tad bit embarrassing to make movies for the sole purpose of tricking someone's grandma into thinking it's the original. Or, looking at the situation with different eyes, maybe the movies were a lot more personal than I initially expected. Michael Shelb was the one man who did most of the work on each of these movies, even having his own daughter playing characters. Either way, this has been goofy rip-off movies. I highly suggest not going out and watching these, but I do recommend joining my new Patreon. Now that I've graduated high school, I need some stability.
How the hell did Curry get anywhere in this place?
Help me.
It's a moving platform
By
puzzle.
joining, you'll gain access to my Discord server, as well as additional content, extra segments of my podcast, and updates with behind the scenes. I don't like advertising on my channel very often, but if you like this video and want to see more like it, directly supporting my work is the best place to do that. Okay, bye.
Fractal on a quest to get win number 10 in the Classic Tetris Monthly Cinematic Universe. Sidnev looking for win number 1 after so many tries. Let's go ahead and get them started. In 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So as mentioned, Fractal with the 10 victories in Classic Tetris Monthly Major Tournaments, inclusive of Masters, Mega Masters, and Lone Star. And chasing Corian, who has 11. And to me, I mean, 10, almost as good of a feat as the 11. And 9 might even be, because during Corian's time, Corian was just dominant, and of course, Corian, legendary player, and certainly a first ballot Tetris Hall of Famer. But there were a lot of beating up on chumps in the first rounds in those things. Apologies to any of the chumps who are watching right now, including myself. But Fractal, arguably 9 in this era. Maybe more impressive, but at the very, you still got to get the number, I think. $139 Sidnev, $136 Fractal. At the end of the day, he still had to get the wins, and Corian got him. And when you talk about just dominance, Corian will always be in the conversation. The most dominant player, particularly, relative to their era, ever. But, it is a sport, and people like to get into these, like, who is really better? Is it, Jordan or Kobe? growth or bonds or whatever. Well, that's the whole reason we have sports. 275 Fractal, 256 Sidnev. Underway here at Game 1, this Round 2 matchup. Alright, I'll start a prediction. You got 2 minutes. 302 Sidnev. So if you're just watching the edited YouTube version, we rolled a piece sequence, right? We do it with that code at the beginning, with the numbers and letters. And it was FEDDDD, totally random. And the players rejected it. They said they do not trust a seed that is FEDDDD. So we complied with the request.
That's
but
hilarious.
I'm curious to know what was on that seed. And Fractal with a spire over there, columns 7 and 8, works around it. You really got to appreciate how difficult that is to get those pieces over like that, especially as a roller. See, as a DAS player, you can just press and hold, and the piece will move at the earliest possible frame. For a tap or roll player, you have to time that well, and you cannot miss. So it's very, very impressive when a player can do that. 445
Oh god.
for Sidnev, 487 for Fractal. Mari has gifted a fan-level membership over on YouTube. Thank you so much, Mari. Sabeta Matsumoto has received the gift. So thank you so much, Mari. $493 Fractal, $494 Sidnev. Couldn't get any closer. I mean, I guess technically you could, because it could be the same. But you're allowed a tiny bit of hyperbole. Not a big enough difference to make a difference. 540 Sidnev, 538 Fractal. Oh, Java T has analyzed the seed. It says 96 long bars in that seed, 91 T pieces. So, not too bad. Balanced. There you missed out. Real Plant says, you're not allowed any hyperbole. Oh, man. How am I going to survive without that? Music is very low. So when the power... 656 transition for Fractal and 657 transition for Sidnev. Couldn't be any closer. Let's see if we can get this down. Fractal 705, Sidnev trying to open up that right side. During the power outage in the previous match, I had no way of communicating with chat because I don't have a SIM card in my iPhone. And I only have my dumb phone. And so I was trying to find... I needed a way to communicate with chat because, my phone utterly disconnected. So I was trying to find that little tool that you use to remove the SIM card, and I'm, cursing up a storm. It's probably on the recording because my computer kept going because it was on the power supply, but... 843 Fractal, I'm, swearing up a storm trying to find this stupid tool so I could check in with chat. 817 Sidnev, 844 Fractal. So yeah, I only use my iPhone now just for around the house. And I just use my dumb phone, which is not that dumb. It actually has maps and a couple other things, but it's awkward to use, which is good. But I don't bring my iPhone everywhere. Pretty much I just use it for two-factor authentication and then listening to YouTube at night. That's what my phone gets used for now. 911 for Sidnev, 961 for Fractal. Yeah, I don't want an eSIM in there because I don't want the SIM card in my iPhone, but I want it for certain things. I guess I could do 2FA on my iPad, right? You just get rid of the phone forever? I might do that. Hey, 25 for Fractal, 975 for Sidnev. Sidnev gets a Tetris. Got the max out on 25, so we've got level 25 max outs for both players. Get rid of the dumb phone. Why would I do that? Life is better when you don't have this stupid device nagging you all the time. B54 Fractal, A76 Sidnev. Dumb phone does everything I need, you know? Except for get on Twitch when the power goes out, which I was utterly unprepared for. B43 Sidnev, B91 for Fractal. Oh, nice adjustment for Fractal to make room for the incoming square. Tetris for Sidnev, B77. We're just about 10 lines away from the 29 transition.
I feel like an idiot.
I'm all about the dumb phone, so there you go. Maybe I should try to get an affiliate deal with Mint Mobile or something. That's who I use. C78 Fractal, C84 Sidnev. Sidnev in the lead right now, up high though, on 29. Not high, but like mid-high, like 29 high, right? But gets it, Tetris down, and another one. C63 Fractal gets one, D57. Tetris for Sidnev, E01. Just 19 stacking. Clean, no problems. Fractal with a little bit of a problem to break down. Gonna uncover that well, gets long bar over for the Tetris. E47 is ahead by 4 lines and back by 5,000 points. Super close. Sidnev still trying to dig this down, still trying to get this board back to a Tetrisable state. And Fractal gets a Tetris. The middle of his board, though, kind of selling out the stack now. Gets a Tetris down. What can Fractal do at this point? Has the F39. Needs to chop this down. Has a lot of practice. Chopping down at this height. Oh no, that left side is going to be cut off for Fractal. That's a top out at F46. The target is F47. Sidnev set up 40, gets a Tetris and is good. Here in game number 1. GG's. Thanks for the resub, C-Dubs. Sidnev's got the 1.7 and time to go for more. No one's had a 2 million in CTM. We've gotten close. It was Fractal who got close, right? But kind of running out of, of burnable lines here. There's a Tetris. That's a 1.7. Oh no, that's probably going to put a damper on that 2 million attempts. But Sidnev making a statement and, testing out the consistency of the rolling and the controller. There's 30 Tetris for Sidnev, and she has got the 1.8 into 39. Dunking on the CTWC World Champion, her rival Fractal. GG's. In 3, 2, 1, Tetris. It's always fireworks when these two players are playing. And yeah, it is tough to have these players, one of them exiting this early. Good point. Let me just refresh one of the streams. Hopefully this isn't a real problem. Oh, Jasmine, upset that there was no Broden opener. I've been I only just really kind of started caring about it, so I've started looking for it, and I haven't had a game with those two yet. But I want to do it. It's for the swag. $68,000 Fractal, $69,000 Sidnev. Yeah, so you put the Z in columns 4, 5. Fractal's bored. It's a problem. And a great long bar for the middle of that stack, but that left side is a real problem. And Fractal's going to top out at 75,000. Fractal tops out. Sidnev is good. Sidnev is good. A gift from Fractal. Jasmine says it's because you didn't do the Broden opening. All right, so no back 3 back 1.8s from Sidnev here. Fractal just wanted to put an end to the back 3 back 1.8s. All right, both players are ready. Sidnev up 2-0 over Fractal. Fractal has been in this position before. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. The odds are back because we got 500 into the prize pool for the stream, and we'll do that. But yeah, it's not the regular dots. And who knows, we could put some other stuff in there. I want to put some other things in. Some options. Alright, one code, that was 20, was that 20 Dan 03? That was 20 Dan 03. We got one more. You could be the person whose name I call out. You get all the credit. And it is the Toast song. $95,000 Sidnev, $95,000 Fractal. So please, someone go over to the Matcherino, log in and click the claim code button. Tetris for Sidnev 141, Fractal 140. And we've got it. We've got our last code, and that was done by Josiah H. So thank you so much, Josiah H. All the codes are done. Great work, team. Appreciate it. The 210 Sidnev 209 Fractal. Alright, so we're in good shape. You know, I always worry every month that somehow, you know, our prize pool. It's so important for the players to, you know, have that incentive, motivation, and reward for all their hard work. Okay, Fractal, a little bit of a thing, but okay, gets a long bar down the right side, and you can see on Fractal's face, it's not comfortable. If he had to block that, that would have been very bad. 279 for Sidnev, Fractal 240. But yeah, I appreciate so much all the support y'all gave. I would love to get the rest of the way there. You know, we've had big contributions from Corporal and Scott. Would love to get the rest of the way to the 2,000 just from, you know, little 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s from the rest of you. So if you've never contributed, why not kick in $5? This goes to the players, not to me. If you're not supporting some horrible meat-eating, whatever, you're supporting the players. And I don't know what they eat. 314 is in to have 315 Fractal. Silly Bandy thinks the 14-year-olds watching this game have credit cards to donate $5 with. Well, I don't know. When I was a kid, I would steal my mom's credit card. I don't know what these kids today are just, you know, cowards.
What?
Don't steal your mom's credit card. 386 from Sidna. I only did it to get on the internet, right? I did it to get on America Online and CompuServe. Because you had to pay for a certain number of hours. And then you ran out of hours, you were done. $10 from Cute Pup Jesus. Thank you so much for the $10 contribution. Really appreciate it. 454 Sidnev. Alright, Fractal says, please don't look at this. This does not represent my real skill. Colin, with the $10 contribution. Thank you very much, Colin. Really appreciate your support month to month. Colin says, I have a job and a credit card. Alright, Sidnev gonna uncover the well over the right side. Meanwhile, Fractal's Tetrising. We're 10 lines away from the 19th transition. Good tuck there from Sidnev. And a Tetris immediately after. Slightly concerning Longbar dependency in the middle of the stack. Won't burn anything, but. Alright, Longbar goes in. We're just 3 lines away. That will uncover, so kind of a high board here, transitioning from there, but gonna uncover the right side. Great adjustment for the team. How do you see that? Takes a skim and a Tetris for Sidnev. What an adjustment. Already 2 majorly amazing adjustments from Sidnev in this broadcast. And a great one from Dan B as well. Maybe more, 619 transition, but Sidnev's still got to fight at the top of the board. This is not... Oh no, is Sidnev gonna top out? 566 Fractal's already good. So Fractal gonna get a game back here. Thank you, Kira, I think it was. Yeah, Akira, thank you for the $1.75 contribution to the prize pool that gets us to $15.25 even. We're just $4.75 away. And, you know, it's a goodly number of people watching.